Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
So this morning we're reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Adi Lila, chapter 3, text number 49. Suvarna varno himango varangas chandanangati sanyasa krischama chanto nishta shanti parayana Suvarna varno himango varangas chandanangati sanyasa krischama chanto nishta shanti parayana Suvarna varno himango varangas chandanangati sanyasa krischama chanto nishta shanti parayana Maharaji, Suvarna of gold, Varna having the color, Hema Anga whose body was like molten gold, Vara Anga having a most beautiful body, Chandana Angadi whose body was smeared with sandalwood, Sannyasakrit practicing the renounced order of life, Sama equipoise, Shanta peaceful, Nishta devotion, Shanti and of peace, Parayana the highest resort. Translation. In his early pastimes, he appears as a householder with a golden complexion. His limbs are beautiful, and his body, smeared with the pulp of sandalwood, seems like molten gold. In his later, seems like molten gold. In his later pastimes, he accepts the sannyasa order, and he is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is a verse from the Mahabharata, Danadharma Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra. In his commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranam, called the Nam Artha Shuddha, Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan, commenting upon this verse, asserts that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to the evidence of the Upanishads. He explains that Suvarna Varna means a golden complexion. He also quotes the Vedic injunction, Yada Pashya Pashyate Rukma Varnam Pitaram Isham Purusham Brahma Yoni. Mundaka Upanishad 3.1.3. Rukma Varnam Kartaram Isham refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as having a complexion the color of molten gold. Purusham means the Supreme Lord, and Brahma Yoni indicates that he is also the Supreme Brahman. This evidence, too, proves that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Another meaning of the description of the Lord as having a golden hue is that Lord Chaitanya's personality is as fascinating as gold is attractive. Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan has explained that the word Varanga means exquisitely beautiful. Lord Chaitanya accepted sannyasa, leaving aside his householder life to preach his mission. He has equanimity in different senses. First, he describes the confidential truth of the personality of Godhead. And second, he satisfies everyone by knowledge and attachment to Krishna. He is peaceful because he renounces all topics not related to the service of Krishna. Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan has explained that the word Nishtha indicates his being rigidly fixed in chanting the holy names of Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya subdued all disturbing opponents of devotional service, especially the monists who are actually averse to the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksur-nilina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantikam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishaka Kamsa. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuse Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
হরে কৃষ্ণ, যাদের অনুবাদ দরকার, ওখানে আমাদের ব্রহ্মদেব প্রভু আছেন, ওখানে তিনি অনুবাদ করেছেন। আপনারা যাদের অনুবাদ দরকার ছিল হাত তুলেছিলেন, মহারাজ চান যে আপনারা যাতে বুঝতে পারেন ওখানে বসতে পারেন, ওখানে জায়গা আছে। কেরালা ট্রান্সলেশন ট্রান্সলেশন করে দেবেন। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Alright, so this is one of the very famous verses in relation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We recognize someone as an incarnation of the Lord based on scriptural evidence. The incarnations of the Lord are all described in Shastra, and they will describe the significant features and activities of the Lord. So, to support Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's position as being the incarnation of the Lord in this age of Kali, it's important to have scriptural evidence. Yesterday we were speaking about how in the 11th canto, Maharaj Nimi had approached the Navyogendras, the sons of Rishabdev, the Navyogendras. Rishabdev had 100 sons. 9 of them were Bhagavad devotees. They were traveling and preaching the message of Bhagavatam. They're described as being the Navyogendras. So, one of them, named Karabhajana Muni, he replied to Maharaj Nimi, and he described the Lord's incarnations in each age. And he quoted Srimad Bhagavatam also, how at the time of the birth of Lord Krishna, Gargacharya had come to do the name-giving ceremony. And at that time, Garga Acharya had told how this child, Krishna, he comes in different ages with different color. And he said, in the Satya Yuga, he came the white color. In the Treta Yuga, he had the red color. Now, Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna, he was the blackish color. And in the future, he will have the yellow color. So here we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described that his color is golden. Suvarna Varna Himango, right? Suvarna, of gold. So golden color, it's yellowish color. So like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his description fits in with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. the yellowish color. So Karapajana Muni went on to describe the Lord's activities in the Kali Yuga. Krishna Varnam Tevish Akrishnam Sango Pangrishta Parshadam Yagnae Sankirtan Prae Yajanti Sumedasaha. Sumedasa. Intelligent, purified people with a good brain, Sumedasaha. They will take part in the Sankirtan Yajna. Kali Yuga Dharma Hari Nam Sankirtan. The Dharma for the Kali Yuga is to take part in Hari Nam Sankirtan. It is the real yajna in the Kali Yuga. In fact, it's the only yajna we can actually do properly in the Kali Yuga. We try to make a show of doing other yajnas, but the real yajna is the chanting of the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent his time chanting the holy name. Krishna Varna, his activities, his occupation was all in relation to Krishna, chanting the holy names of Krishna from his very birth. That he appeared on this day in 1486, so it's like 540 years ago now, and it was this day of Purnima. It was holy, and there was also an eclipse, just as there's an eclipse today. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 540 years ago, there was also a lunar eclipse. So when there's a lunar eclipse, it was customary, it's not so fashionable today, but in the past, people followed the Vedic culture, and they understood that when there's an eclipse, it is not auspicious. So they will do something to counteract the inauspiciousness. And the best thing to do is to chant the holy names of the Lord. And they would go to Ganga and bathe in the Ganga and chant the holy names. So here in Kolkata, Ganga is not far away. You can also go to Ganga, chant the holy name. Anyway, the chanting of the holy names is the Yuga Dharma. Mahaprabhu has come to inaugurate the chanting of the holy names. Previously, Lord Krishna had spoke Bhagavad Gita, and he had given the instruction, Sarva Dharmam Parikrishna Mamikam Sharanavruta. He had requested Arjuna, and he requested all of us to give up all dharmas and simply take up the business of surrendering to Krishna, taking shelter of Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna had given this instruction, but he had not displayed how to do it. You know, if you just tell people to do things and you can't do it yourself, you don't show them how to do it yourself, it's not very good. It's not effective. Probably you have experience of this. Right? And I give the example about the teachers. They will say, don't smoke. But we say, but sir, you smoke. So teaching has been better than just giving instruction, is to give the example. It is said, example speaks louder than words. So Lord Krishna had spoken the words, and he had asked everyone to surrender, but he had not yet displayed how to do it. So he comes again. He comes in the Kali Yuga, and his purpose is to show everyone how to surrender to Lord Krishna. And that surrendering process is done through chanting the holy name, dancing, and taking Krishna prasad. These very simple but very powerful spiritual activities actually give us the opportunity to awaken our real self and to become God conscious. Lord Sri Krishna wants to show everyone how to develop love of God. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming, and his business is similarly to show people by his own example how to develop love for God through the chanting of the holy names and through topics, discussing constantly the activities, the pastimes, the qualities of Lord Sri Krishna. We say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna, but he's come in a different mood. He has come as a devotee. We have to understand why he came as a devotee. Well, first of all, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj explains how there is an external reason for the descent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That externally, you could say the Lord came because of his administrative duties, looking after the universe. We know from the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes his duties in coming to the world. Paritranaya sadhunam vinaschaya. Right, so he has his administrative duties, killing the demons. We know Lord Rama also would kill demons with his arrows, and Lord Krishna would often use Sudarshan Chakra. But that kind of work, Lord Sri Krishna doesn't have to do that himself. Lord Vishnu can do these kind of things, you see? Lord Vishnu, he can do that kind of, he's more active in the administrative duties. Lord Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he comes for a very special purpose. He comes to display his transcendental pastimes, to give pleasure to his devotees. And who are those devotees? His most confidential devotees are the people of Vrindavan. And we see from the moment of Lord Krishna's birth in Mathura, he immediately wants to go to Vrindavan. He wants to go there and be with the family of the cowherd people. And it was arranged that Vasudeva was able to take Krishna there. So Lord Krishna has an appreciation for these devotees because they have so much love for him. They have a very special type of love. A love which is different from ordinary devotees. Ordinary devotees, we follow the rules and regulations, what is called Vidhi Bhakti, following the different rules of the scriptures. Wake up early in the morning, go to Mangal Arati, put the tilak on the body, chant the holy name, fixed number of times, different things which we do. It's all part of Vidhi Bhakti. But the people of Vrindavan are beyond that. they've transcended that. They're above the rules and regulations. They have spontaneous love for Krishna, what is called raga bhakti. And this is a very special mode of loving devotion, pure devotion. Our devotion is often mixed with desires for fruitive activities and philosophical speculation. We often think about our own liberation. Oh, I don't want to come back to this world. I want to get liberation. We think in that way. That is the mode of Vaikuntha. People who go to Vaikuntha, they have that kind of thinking, that they want to enter to get free from material life. But the devotees who have this raga bhakti, they're not thinking about their own self. They don't think about where they're going to go. Their only thought is Krishna and service to Krishna, and the mode of serving Krishna in complete surrender, giving up all material desires. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is coming to give this kind of taste, to give this kind of love to Krishna, raga bhakti. Now, Lord Krishna himself, he was attracted to the people of Vrindavan, and he enjoys their loving devotion. But he has the greatest appreciation for Srimati Radharani, because she has so much intense love for him. And he saw that in his dealings with these gopis of Vrindavan, he saw that they were getting more pleasure than he was getting. Now Lord Krishna likes to enjoy, just like all of us. We like enjoyment. We want enjoyment. Lord Krishna, he wants the supreme enjoyment, more than anyone else. And he saw that in his dealings with these different gopis, that they were getting more pleasure than him. So this was a disturbance. This was not satisfying to Krishna. That I want to enjoy, but this Radharani is enjoying millions of times more than me. We often give the example, just like in the material world, you know. I mean, not so much today, but the way it used to be, women would be at home and the men would go to work, right? The men go to work, make the money, and bring it to the wife to spend, right? The wife is enjoying, right? Her husband goes off to work and the wife stays at home and enjoys. They say the gopis, they're enjoying with Krishna. They're seeing how much Krishna, how he's so wonderful. They're so attractive. They're attracted to Krishna. So Krishna, they're getting so much pleasure from seeing me. I don't feel the pleasure myself. I want to enjoy like them. I want to take that mood. I want to come in their position. Then I can experience that pleasure. That was one reason. That Lord Krishna, you see, there's the abode of love and there's the object of love. The abode of love is called the Vishaya, or the Ashraya, and the object of love is the Vishaya. So Lord Krishna is the transcendent, he is the object of love, And the abode of love is, as it's here in the gopis, and particularly in Srimati Radharani, the ashraya. The ashraya and the vishaya. Lord Krishna is the transcendental object of love. And Srimati Radharani, the gopis, they're the abode of love. Lord Krishna, as the object of love, he does not enjoy as much as those who are the abode of that love. So Lord Krishna wants to come in that position as the ashraya instead of the vishaya. He wants to experience what is that pleasure, to see that and to appreciate the wonderful qualities which are there in Krishna. Just like Lord Krishna has so many wonderful qualities. He's Bhagavan. He has all the opulences. But the gopis are enjoying more than him. Although he's got everything, but still these other people, these gopis of Vrindavan, they're enjoying greater than he is. So he wants to experience that love. He wants to understand more, to appreciate more. And in order to do it, he has to come in that position. He has to change his position from the Vishaya to the Ashraya. He has to become the abode of the love. Then he can feel more the appreciation of the wonderful qualities in Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very special incarnation. He does not just come as any ordinary avatar. The other avatars, they come, they will do some different functions to help in the administration of the universe. Lord Varaha comes. Lord Varaha picks up the earth from the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean. And then another time Lord Varaha fights with Haranyaksha and he kills the demon Haranyaksha. And Lord Nrsimhadev comes and Lord Nrsimhadev fights with Hiranyakashipu, kills Hiranyakashipu. And Lord Rama comes and Lord Rama has his astras and he kills so many different demons, particularly Ravan, Kumbhakan, these people, those who were disturbing the social order, threatening the great sages who were all living in the forest. They were always being harassed by the Rakshasas. So Lord Rama spent 14 years in the forest, and during that time he was able to kill many of these Rakshasas, so they could not bring any more disturbance. So Lord Krishna, he also comes and is again killing different demons, Sishupal, Dantavakra, and then Kamsa, these kind of people. And he helped to kill Jarasandha, these different people who were threats to the social order. But Lord Krishna, he wants to also enjoy, not only just do the administrative duties. Just like if you're running an office, you don't just want to only do the work. There's got to be some pleasure coming from it. You've got to get some enjoyment out of it. If it's only work, making money, and you never enjoy any, it becomes boring. You get tired. You won't want to do it for long. There has to be some enjoyment there also. So Lord Krishna, he also wants to enjoy. But he saw they're enjoying more than me. Now when we see people enjoy more than us, we, wow, I want to enjoy like them, you know. Someone's got the new iPhone, I want to get the new iPhone. Something like that, you know. So, that's it, you know. Lord Krishna wants to enjoy. Why should these people enjoy so much, many more times than he is enjoying? So, in order to enjoy, he has to change his position. He has changed from the Vishaya to the Ashraya. He has to become the abode of love and not the object of love. As the object of love, the gopis, people of Vrindavan, headed by Srimati Radharani, they love Krishna. They love Krishna so much. They'll give up everything for the pleasure of Krishna. They're ready to sacrifice everything. Right? When Krishna would call them, they would leave everything. Their homes, their children, their husbands, their family, they would go off to the forest because Krishna is calling. And Lord Krishna appreciated so much their sacrifice that he told them, Na parayeham, I cannot repay you for what you've done. You've given up all your social duties, which are very difficult to give up. We know how much attached people are to their social duties. Oh no, I have to go, my husband will be, my children will be, I have to go. You know, but the social duties, that bond of the attachment is very strong. But these people of Vrindavan, the gopis, they could give it all, they left it all to go to Krishna. And Lord Krishna appreciated that so much that he thought, I cannot repay you for what you have. You will have to be satisfied with your own activities as compensation for what you've done for me. So this is the glorious position of the people of Vrindavan, headed by the gopis. And of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the greatest, because she has the most intense love for Lord Krishna. And that was seen when Uddhava had come to Vrindavan to deliver Krishna's message to the gopis. At that time, Srimati Radharani began to talk to the bumblebee, addressing the bumblebee as being a messenger from Lord Krishna. Uddhava was astonished. Lord Krishna had sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to deliver his message. But Uddhava saw how much love, how much attachment they had for Krishna. It was amazing. He was astonished. He took the opportunity to learn from them. Although he had come to, the people think, because Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati, so he's very learned. He's come to instruct the gopis. But no, he learned from them how to develop their love for Krishna. So, here in this verse today, this is again, the one verse is there in 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, describing how the Lord comes. Like Karabhajana Muni described, Satya Yuga white color, Treta Yuga red color, now he's come blackish color, and he will come again yellow. So here in this verse is describing how the Lord comes in a yellowish color, golden complexion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, he is known as Gauranga. Gauranga. this verse coming from Mahabharata, from the Vishnu Sahasranam, is describing actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and is describing how he would live his life. In his early life, he appears as a householder. So Mahaprabhu, as a young man, he was living with his elderly mother. His father had passed away. So his mother very much desired that her son should be married. Earlier, Mahaprabhu's elder brother, Vishwarup, had left home. He had left home to avoid becoming married. His mother said she was thinking Vishwarup should be married. Vishwarup, when he heard this, he did not like the idea, and so he left home. He never came back again. He left home, he took sannyas, and he gave up his body in Pandavpur. Anyway, Vishwarup, the elder brother, had gone away from home. Mother said she felt very bad. Oh, my son, he's gone off, taken sannyas. So, other son is there, younger son, Nimai. So he should get married. So she arranges the marriage of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was married first to Lakshmi Priya. But at one point, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was away traveling in Bangladesh, doing teaching work and traveling, at that time, Lakshmi Priya was bitten by the snake bite, and she left the body, she departed from the world. So when he came home, then Mother Sachi had to explain the news that wife is no longer there. Actually, with the snake bite, it was the separation more than the snake bite, which was the cause of her departure. So then, after some time, a second marriage was arranged, Vishnu Priya. And Vishnu Priya was married to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it happened by the time he was 24. At that time, Vishnu Priya was only something like 16 years old. Mahaprabhu had to take sannyas. He left. Why did he take sannyas? There was some problem. Mahaprabhu was relishing the position of the gopis. I was explaining to you how the gopis are enjoying so much more. Just like in Vrindavan, people all take shelter of Srimati Radharani. You see everywhere in Vrindavan, they say Radhe Radhe, like that, you see. So why they take shelter of Radharani? Because she's very dear to Krishna. And if you can get her mercy, she can introduce you to Krishna. So Mahaprabhu was teaching, he was lecturing about Nyaya, logic. He had opened his school when he was still very young, like about 14 years of age. He opened a school and he had attracted many students because he was a brilliant scholar. He had defeated Keshav Kashmiri, who was Digvijay. Keshav Kashmiri had come to Navadvip 500 years ago. Navadvip was a center of learning, and many, just like nowadays, people come to Kolkata to study or go to different places to study. But in those days, people would go to Navadvip to study, and there were many pandits there. So this Digvijay, Keshav Kashmiri, he was traveling all over, and he came to Navadvip to challenge everyone. And everybody ran away. They all said, oh, I have to go, I have some business. Oh, I have to go to my home, I have to go to my village. they all wanted to avoid meeting this Keshav Kashmiri, because if he would defeat them, then they would have no reputation, they won't get any students anymore. But Lord Chaitanya, who is Nimai Pandit, he remained there, and he remained, and Keshav Kashmiri came, and he met him, and when they debated, Lord Chaitanya requested Keshava Kashmiri, "Oh, you're so great scholar, I'm just a young man, I don't know anything. Please compose some poetry glorifying Mother Ganga." And so Keshava Kashmiri immediately began reciting verses glorifying Mother Ganga. You know, if you or I have to compose a poem, one verse, you know, it takes a lot of thought, you know. But this Keshav Kashmiri was so blessed by Mother Saraswati that spontaneously, like the wind, he could recite verses glorifying Mother Ganga. So Nimai Pandit listened, and he said, "Oh, very good, you're really good, you're blessed by Mother Saraswati, you're so fortunate." But then he said, "Kindly explain the faults and the merits in this one verse." And Lord Chaitanya then selected a verse and recited it. And Keshava Kashmiri was astonished. He said, how could you memorize my verse? I composed these verses like the wind. How is it possible you have memorized it? And Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh, Mother Saraswati blessed you that you can compose verses. She blessed me that I could remember." So Lord Chaitanya then went on to explain the merit. You know, he was saying, "Tell me about, but there are faults in this one verse." And Keshava, "No, there's no faults in my poetry. My verses are all perfect." But Lord Chaitanya said, "No, look, there are faults." And then Lord Chaitanya went on to speak and to explain the faults in the verse. And Keshava Kashmiri was astounded. He was defeated. Lord Chaitanya's students were laughing. Lord Chaitanya told him, "Don't laugh. He's a great scholar." Anyway, in this way, Lord Chaitanya got reputation that he's defeated this Digvijay. He was the Pandit, he was a great Pandit. And Nimai Pandit, a young man, defeated him. And then later on, Lord Chaitanya had led the protest against Chankazi. When the Chankazi stopped the Sankirtan, he had gone to Srivas Pandit's home, broke the Madanga, and threatened, "I will make you all Muslims if you don't stop this." So it was a very tense time. Chankazi was very powerful. He was ruling there. He was in charge under the Nawab. The Nawab was there at Ramakeli. Chankazi, he was in charge of the Mahimsa magistrate for Navadvip. So he threatened them, "No more kirtan." But Lord Chaitanya gathered everyone. Ooh, no kirtan? We have to have kirtan. God called everyone. And lakhs of people all came. And they had wonderful procession. And they went to the Chankazi's house. And Nimai Pandit came and met with the Chankazi, and he talked to Chankazi and got the Chankazi to agree that yes, he said, "Never again will I stop the Sankirtan." He said, "As long as I live and any of my descendants in the future, none of them will ever stop your Sankirtan." So that blessing is there even today. And Prabhupada said, in the time of partition, 1949, when there was so much tension between Hindu and Muslim, I said, nobody in Navadvip stopped the Sankirtan. So the Chankazi's blessing was there. So this was Nimai Pandit. He's a young man, he got great reputation. But there was a problem. This one day he was chanting the names of the gopis. Because it is said, Aradhanam Sarvesham Tasmat Tarataram Devi. Yes, of all kinds of worship, the worship of Vishnu is the best. But even greater than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of those things in relationship to Vishnu. So, Lord Chaitanya was chanting the names of the gopis. In relation, you want to get Krishna's mercy, you have to go through the devotee. Right? We sing every day, Yasya Prasad. By the mercy of the spiritual master, you get the mercy of Krishna. Without the mercy of the spiritual master, there will be havoc on the path. So, worshipping the Guru, worshipping the gopis, we worship Tulsi Devi, like that. By the power of their devotion, we can come to Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, he was chanting the names of the gopis. And he was thinking about the gopis, about how the gopis sometimes they'll feel sulky. Lord Krishna will go away with other women. And the gopis will feel, oh, he's gone off with that Chandravali. Oh, tell him never to come. I don't want to see him again. He's gone with Chandravali. No, I don't want him. Like that, sometimes the gopis will have these moods. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mood of the gopis, like that, and he was chanting the name. And at that time, one student came and said to him, oh, Nimai Pandit, why are you chanting names of the gopis? Why don't you chant the names of the Supreme Lord? Chant the name of Lord Krishna, that's the Supreme. Nimai Pandit was in the mood of the gopis. The gopis were in mana, they were in the mood and angry towards Krishna. So Nimai Pandit took his stick and he chased that student. Because he thought, this student's telling me to chant Krishna's name. No, I'm not going to chant. Yet he took his stick and began to chase Krishna. The student ran away. And the student went and told all the other students that Nimai Pandit, he's become proud. He was going to beat me with a stick. I had to run away. And all the students said, what? He said, we will go and we will beat him. So when Lord Chaitanya, Nimai Pandit, when he had understood this, he thought, I have come here to deliver everyone. Now if they're all going to beat me, they'll all go to hell. So my purpose will be defeated. So how can I get these students so that they will properly respect me? So he thought, I have to take sannyas. I have to renounce. Then they will respect. And so it happened. This was one reason why Mahaprabhu took sannyas. There was other reasons. Like one time, every night they were having kirtan at the home of Srivas, and they were having kirtan. The one Brahmana, one materialistic Brahmana, he wanted to come to the kirtan. But at this time, the kirtans in Srivas, they were not open to the public. They were for the devotees. When you have just your own devotees there, then there's more mood. Just like this morning, the kirtan is very nice because you're all devotees. But when you go to Rath Yatra or maybe this afternoon when the program comes, there'll be a lot more public there. The mood will not be the same. The mood is greater, it's more intense among the devotees. So, Lord Chaitanya he was having kirtan in the home of Srivas Thakur just with the devotees. And this Brahmana, smarter Brahmana, he wanted to come. He said, I want to come. Lord, sorry, no, we don't, it's not public, it's not for everyone, you cannot come. The Brahmana said, if I cannot come, then I will curse you. And he took his Brahman thread, broke his Brahman thread. He said, I curse you. you will never enjoy material life. Oh, would you like that curse? Right? You will never enjoy material life. Right? You want that curse? Mahaprabhu thought, oh, very nice. So then, if you don't want to enjoy material life, better take sannyas. So Mahaprabhu did that. He went off, he renounced the material body, the material life. He gave up his householder life. If you go to Mayapur, there's the one place near Doya Ghat. Near Doya Ghat, where Mahaprabhu entered into the Ganga. He swam across the Ganga and then went to Katwa. And he went to Katwa, Keshava Bharati's ashram was there in Katwa. And Mahaprabhu went there and took sannyas. So, as a young man, he was a householder. But then, in an older age, he accepts the sannyas. His later pastimes, right? First 24 years were spent in the family life. And then 24 years in sannyas. And of these 24 years, 6 years were spent traveling around India, walking to all the holy places and visiting different places and giving the holy name. And then he came back to Jagannath Puri and stayed 18 years in Jagannath Puri. So the Mahabharata describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood that he is equipoised and peaceful. That's important, right? We have to be peaceful. We have to be satisfied in Krishna consciousness, not that we're always agitated. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, and he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us Mayavadi Aparadi, that those people who present the Mayavada philosophy, they are offenders to Lord Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent, although he was initiated in the line of Shankaracharya as a sannyasi, he did not associate with the other sannyasis who were in that line, because they were all Mayavadis, and he knew they're offended. But still it happened at one point when he was in Varanasi. At that time, Prakashananda Saraswati was there with many other sannyasis in that line of Shankaracharya. So Mahaprabhu did not associate with them. Mahaprabhu spent his time simply chanting the holy name and dancing. Even though he'd be alone, he would do Sankirtan. Have you been to Varanasi? If you go to Varanasi, you know the very narrow streets, very narrow place. So like that, you can walk, give the holy name. Mahaprabhu was there dancing and chanting. And the Mayavadi sannyasis condemned him. They criticized him. They said, oh, he is a sentimentalist. He's just singing. And people often say that about us, that they see us singing and dancing. They say, oh, just sentimentalist people singing. They think this is a sentimental movement. You just sing and dance and eat prasadam. But we should also know philosophy. And Prabhupada definitely wanted us to learn. And that's very important for us. That's why we have so many courses for devotees, to help them understand the philosophy. So it happened, Mahaprabhu had come to Varanasi, and there were usually Vaishnavas, they don't go to Varanasi. It's not a place for Vaishnava. It's a place more for Mayavadis, line of Shankaracharya, Buddhists, these kind of people. Anyway, there were two devotees there. There was Tapana Mishra and there was also Chandrasekhar. There were two devotees of Mahaprabhu. They were becoming discouraged because people were talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had taken sannyas and he was traveling. He'd come to Varanasi on his way to Vrindavan and he was singing and dancing the holy name. So this is sentimentalist. The business of a sannyasi is to study Vedanta. Mayavadi sannyasis, generally that's all they do. They will sit and study Vedanta Sutra and speculate about what is the message. Right? Just like you read a sutra, Vedanta Sutra is condensed, you know? So when it's condensed, you don't get, it's difficult to know what the full meaning is. So Srila Vyasadeva, he wrote Vedanta Sutra, Vedanta, the end of knowledge, but in the form of a sutra. So it's condensed. It's not easy to understand the message. So the Mayavadi sannyasis, they study Vedanta and they all speculate on what is the meaning of this statement. Just like Vedanta Sutra begins, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Now, Atato now. Why now? Because now you're a human being. So you have to understand what is matter and what is spirit. Only in human life can you understand these things. The animals cannot sit and read Vedanta Sutra. It's for humans. You know? But how many humans can sit? People who are like animals, they cannot understand. So anyway, Vedanta Sutra, we have our commentary on Vedanta, and that is there in Srila Vyasadeva Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on Vedanta. We're happy studying Vedanta, but afterwards, due to challenges from other people, then Baladeva Vijayabusan was obliged to write the Govinda Bhashya, the speaking of Govinda. And it's a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, the Vaishnava commentary. Because each of the Sampradayas, they have their own commentaries. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya was there in Varanasi and they thought, he's only a sentimentalist, he just sings and dances, he doesn't know any philosophy. So one Brahmana invited everyone to his home, all the sannyasis. But usually Lord Chaitanya would never go because he doesn't want to associate with Mayavadis. He wouldn't go. But this time he thought, I better go because my two devotees are being disturbed. He said actually these two devotees, they must be kanistas because they're not able to defeat the Mayavadis in their teaching. We have to know the philosophy to defeat Mayavada. If you don't know it, then you're kanista. Kanista means junior devotee. So Mahaprabhu went to meet Prakashananda Saraswati. He went there to the Brahmana's house. All the sannyasis were in there. And when Mahaprabhu came there, then he exhibited a brilliant effulgence. And all the sannyasis were in there. Prakashananda, they saw this effulgence at the door. Oh, who is this? When they saw his effulgence, they thought, oh, this person has already achieved Sayuja Mukti. He's so effulgent, he's become like Narayan. So like the Prakashananda Saraswati was attracted, he saw the effulgence of Mahaprabhu. And he got up and he came forward. He did some Agyata Sukriti. He brought Mahaprabhu inside. was very nice to him. When he saw how Mahaprabhu had so much indulgence. And then Prakashananda is inquiring, why don't you study Vedanta with us? But Mahaprabhu said, no, my spiritual master said, I am a fool. I cannot, he told me just to chant the holy name. I am a fool. I don't know anything. I cannot study. But anyway, then Mahaprabhu went on to explain Vedanta to Prakashananda. He explained. Although he was saying that actually he knew everything because he's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna said, Vedanta Krit Veda Ved Eva Cham. I am the author, I am the compiler of all the Vedas. So certainly Mahaprabhu knows all the Vedas. And he could explain it all also to Prakashananda Saraswati. And he convinced all the Mayavadi sannyasis. And when they heard his conviction about the holy name, they all chanted, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And when they all chanted the holy name, then Mahaprabhu said, now you are all Vaishnavas, because you began chanting the holy name. And usually Mahaprabhu would never take prasad with them. He would never associate. But now they've chanted the holy name, he said, distribute prasad. Let's all take prasad together. Now this was Mahaprabhu. He associated with them. He took prasadam with them because he had chanted the holy name. So this is the business of sannyasi. You see, get people to chant the holy name. So Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. He was doing that every day. There would be Sankirtan. Every day Jagannath Puri would have Harinam Sankirtan with all the devotees. Discussing philosophy, that was only with a very few special souls. But for everyone, the holy name, the Sankirtan movement, that's very important, very powerful. So Mahaprabhu, his life is all exactly described there in this verse from the Vishnu Sahasranam. So this is a very important verse. It's evidence that Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord himself. And he has come in the Kali Yuga to establish the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy names. So maybe we'll take some questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Dandavata. Maharaj, my question is that as we know that Lord is Atmaram, He is self-satisfied. So some people say that so if Lord is self-satisfied, so why there is need to do so much creation? So if He is self-satisfied, why He created so many living entities? If He is created entities, it means that He is not self-satisfied. He is dependent on other to gain the enjoyment. So how will we understand this?
You're a big speculator. Yes, the Lord is self-satisfied. He's Atmarama. He has everything. But at the same time, He enjoys with His devotees. He gives pleasure for His devotees. He's enjoying with His devotees. You think He cannot enjoy? He can. Not only does He enjoy on His own, but He enjoys with all of the part and parcel living entities. And He doesn't create them, they're all eternally existing. They're eternally there. Right? They're all eternally as parts and parcels. For the soul, there's no birth, there's no death. So He doesn't create them, they're always there. The living entities are all there, and they're all His eternal parts and parcels. So He enjoys the relationship with his devotees. It's not that, oh, for Krishna, because he's God, he should just sit and enjoy and not do anything. You're denying him the activities of being a person. You're making everything impersonal. You're thinking, no activity, nothing, stop all activity. What kind of God is that? No, you have to understand God is a person, and persons have activities, they have personality. They're not void, they're not nothing, just sit and do nothing. You know, that's Buddhism, you know. And that's why Buddhism got rejected from India, because everybody was sitting doing nothing. And the world had no meaning and everything is void. And we just sit and meditate. And nobody plows a field, nobody goes to work anymore, nobody does anything. And that's why the whole Buddhist philosophy got kicked out. Shankaracharya defeated it. He brought back the Vedas. And the Vedas are there to organize society. So the Lord is a person, and once he has activities, he has relationships. You say the Lord is self-satisfied, so he doesn't need anybody. Yeah, he doesn't need, but at the same time he has. He enjoys having relationships with them. So that there's two features you have to understand. That he is Atma Rama, and at the same time he is enjoying also relationships with his devotees. He has that. We cannot deny him that facility. That is Mahaprabhu's philosophy. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. He's Atmaram. He's self-satisfied, and at the same time, he's more satisfied when he's with his devotees and enjoying different pastimes and activities. So we have to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, that his activities are never mundane. They're never on the material platform. He's not under the modes of nature. He's the controller of the material nature. And he comes into this world to attract all of us to go back to the spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, there are also activities. There are relationships. It is not just simply a oneness, a merging, and no activity. That is just impersonal. That is very dry. You know, people who take to that kind of philosophy and want to make everything one or everything zero, they cannot maintain it for very long because they get bored. Nothing to do, no variety. No, we need variety, we need relationships, and we need to experience these things on the transcendental platform, not on the mundane level, we are thinking everything in terms of material relationships, but try to understand there are spiritual relationships with Krishna, with the Supreme Lord in the center, and his devotees serving him. So that is the source of greatest. Not only do the devotees serve Krishna, but Krishna serves the devotees. He likes to give service to his devotees. He enjoys it. So the Lord, we said, he's a supreme enjoyer. And he's enjoying these kind of things. There's not much enjoyment in just stopping everything and thinking, oh, I am God, I'm supreme. There's no enjoyment there. You're denying him any enjoyment. if you say that he shouldn't do anything, why he does it, why he created it, why he does it, no. It's all for his transcendental pleasure. But he is a person. And persons like activities, we like relationships. If you make everything 0 or everything 1, then there's no relationship anymore. So you have to understand the personal philosophy. That God is a person, and He does have activity. And we want to hear, we take pleasure in hearing about His activities and understanding more about His different qualities. That is, Atmarama Sloka said, Atmaramas Chamunayo, Nirgranta Aperukrame, Gurvanti Ahaitaki Bhaktim, Idam Buddha Gunohare. Your Atmarama, but the Atmarama people are attracted when they hear about Krishna, because you don't get just to come on, just to be Atmarama. Sukadeva Goswami became a devotee when he heard the glories of Krishna. He was attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. And the 4 Kumaras were Brahmagyanis. They were fixed on the platform of Brahman. But then they saw Krishna. They smelt the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of Lord Padmanabha. And they experienced a change, a transformation in consciousness. They became devotees. So, Atmarama, this is what you see the Mayavadis, they could not understand it. How is it somebody who is Atmarama, they can be attracted because the glories of Krishna are so full of spiritual potency that they attract even the Atmaramas. That, oh, what is this? Oh, tell me more. Sukadeva Goswami heard some verses about the pastimes of Krishna. Oh, what is this? Who taught me this? You see? So Atmarama is not perfection. You have to go on from Atmarama. You have to go to Prem. Mahaprabhu's come to give Prem, not just simply make us Atmaramas. So we want Krishna Bhakti. We want to develop that love for the Lord. That is far surpasses Atmarama. Okay, yeah. Another question? Yes?
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful class. I know of one person, he's Mayavadi, but very attracted to chanting the holy name of Hare Krishna. And I don't live here, but my wife and I, Purana Sangha, we thought we'll invite him, so he can hear in the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita that we go through in our Sangha. But then sometimes he brings up his own conceptions. So what do you recommend we do? And so my wife and I, then we remind ourselves that in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Mayavadi Bhashya Sunile, Hoy Swargonash. So if you are in a dilemma, what do you do?
Yes, well, just be careful. Just tell him he's not allowed to preach. Just, you can come in here, but we don't want you to preach. Just like when Prabhupada was in America, initially, Prabhupada was going to the Dr. Mishra, who had a yoga studio. And Prabhupada, he would sing some bhajans. Dr. Mishra was teaching yoga, and he had some American students. So Prabhupada was coming. He invited Prabhupada. He said, "You can sing bhajans. Don't preach." So I don't want you to talk. Don't tell your philosophy. So, sometimes, you have to do like that, you have to say, well, we don't mind you coming, but you're not allowed to speak. Don't come and preach. Because, sometimes you get Christians and like that, they want to preach and they come to our programs and they want to. So we tell them, no, we don't mind you coming, but you're not allowed to speak. You can come and hear. And you can take prasadam. Yeah, you're welcome. Come and hear, take prasadam. But if they're going to come and try to give their own philosophy, it's not what we want. And you have to be careful of that. So, it's a problem. We want to be merciful, we invite everyone. We invite everyone, come and hear, but you're not here to preach. If you want to preach, make your own center. Go and make your own place. But
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna is always, please accept my humble obeisances as a lotus feet. Thank you for sharing the nectar of God Prem and showering it on all of us. My question is that when Krishna took the form of Mahaprabhu, he came in mood of Srimati Radharani. But as a sampradaya, we are discouraged even to greet somebody with Radhe Radhe. So why is it like injunction as per our sampradaya, or there is some deeper insights or meaning in the Shastra, if you could enlighten? And the other question was that Mahaprabhu in Srivasangan, he closed all the doors when he was doing Harinam, but same Mahaprabhu, when we find him in Rath Yatra in Puri, he is distributing that Harinam to everybody. So how should we understand this Mahaprabhu in both these two modes? Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So you have to understand, Mahaprabhu in Puri, he's opened the doors for everyone. Initially, he was just beginning his movement. It was just him and the intimate associates. It was not for everyone. But after he'd gone to Puri and taken sannyas, then it's a different move. He's giving the holy name for everyone. But initially, he wanted to relish the holy name with his devotees, first of all. So the mood changed. The circumstances changed. He was no longer in Mayapur. Now he'd gone to Jagannath Puri there. So, everyone. He gave the holy name for everyone. It's open to everyone. And your first question about this Radhe Radhe, why we don't chant? Srila Prabhupada taught us. Is that people, if somebody would say Radhe, he would say Hare Krishna. Now Hare Krishna is not different from Radha Krishna. We're chanting Hare Krishna. We're chanting the Mahamantra. And we understand there's no difference between Radha Krishna and Hare Krishna. So Mahaprabhu, he also chanted Hare Krishna mantra. We're following Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada was very reserved in speaking about Srimati Radharani, that it is more confidential. Why? Because it's often misunderstood. People don't understand the relationship between Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and they take it to be mundane material, and they think of it as some kind of lust or sex indulgence. So Srila Prabhupada was very conscious of this, and he did not want to pollute something which is the most exalted, the most sacred thing. So he kept it confidential. And in our temples, only except on maybe Radha Astami, On Radha Astami, then we will sing more about Srimati Radharani and speak more about her. But generally, it's confidential because ordinary people cannot understand and they think it to be something mundane. They think it is just lusty activities. It's just some sex indulgence which is going on. And they think Lord Krishna with the gopis, it is just some sex they're having. They do not understand the transcendental nature of these things. So we keep it confidential. Alright, any yes?
Hare Krishna. Mahaprabhu has stated that about Vedavet. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah. Mahaprabhu, I want to know, please explore about Mahaprabhu's Vedavet Tattva. Vedavet Tattva, what is actually the exploring in a proper this thing, in a deep this thing, what is Vedavet Tattva of Mahaprabhu? Achintya Vedavet.
Achintya Vedavet.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yes.
Well, that the relationship with the Lord and the living entity. That the Lord is one, the living entity is one with the Lord, in the sense that we're both Brahman, they're one, but also different. The Lord is Para-Brahman, and the living entity is a tiny part of the Brahman. So that's one and different, inconceivably, Or Mayavada people, they're thinking we're all the Lord, that there's no difference between the Lord and we can all become God. But no, eternally the Lord is the Lord, and eternally the living entity is the servant. So, one and different. Actually, everything is one and different from in the material world. The material energy is all one. It's all Krishna's energy, but at the same time, it's different from Krishna. So this is a teaching of Mahaprabhu. This is the Siddhanta that everything is one with the Lord. It's His energy, and it's probably at the same time it's different from Him. There's the Lord and His energy. So the Lord and His energy are one, but they're also different. So this is the philosophy which Mahaprabhu established. The other Vaishnavas each have their own, like Sri Vaishnavas, Vishishta Dvaita. So there's some differences there in the Siddhantas. But they all agree, there's one Lord and the living entity is the servant. Vaishnava philosophy means one Supreme Lord and the living entity is the servant. Mamivamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Buddha Sanatana, Manasya-stani Indriyani, Prakriti-stani Karshati. Right? The living entities are all eternally the parts of the Supreme Lord. Jiva Buddha Sanatana. Mam Ivamsha Jiva Buddha Sanatana. We're eternally connected with the Lord, but we're parts. We're not the complete. We have one in quality, different in quantity. So this is Achintya Veda Tattva.
That the living entities are eternally existing and Lord is there. So from that means it is unborn or not created. And from where it came then, how we can understand?
From where it comes, the living entities, the living entities are coming from the body of Mahavishnu. Right? When there's annihilation, living entities all enter into the body of Mahavishnu. They remain in that condition until again creation takes place. Then they come out from the body of Mahavishnu. You're asking when did they begin? But there's no beginning. And there's no beginning. They're eternal. Just like when did he become God? He's always God. He's always God. And the living entities, we're always there. There's no time. You cannot say that, oh, God, he became God, like sometimes they, oh, he became God 2,500 years ago. No. He's always God. And then there's a creation, there's maintenance, and then there's destruction. And then again there's creation. Again and again the day comes, and again the night falls. Right? The day, and then night, and then again day, and then night. So the same way there's creation. I remember I was with Jayadvaita Swami. We were in the USA. We went to one college, and he was talking about Krishna, and the student was asking, he said, who created Krishna? Where does Krishna come from? We said, no, Krishna, he is the source of everything. Everything comes from him. He said, no, but where does he come from? People who ask this kind of question, they need to go back to the beginner's class to learn God means that person from which everything comes. You can't say, oh, well, when did it become God? When did it begin? When did it begin? No, it's eternal. He's always God. You cannot say, oh, it became God. No, the Christians say that. God took for 3,000 years, 2,500 years. It's not like that. God is always God. He is the eternal, and He is, and we say, Ishvara Adi Govinda. He's the cause of all causes and the origin of all origins. You can't say, well, where does he come from? You cannot ask that question. You have to go back to the beginner's class. God, everything comes from Him. He is the beginning. Everything is coming from Him. It's an important point for people to understand and to be very clear about. That there's nothing which does not come from Him. It's all Him. It's all His energy. He is the original person. And we are all living entities. We are also eternal. Many, many births, both you and I have had. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, I can remember, you cannot. But we have had many births. Krishna remembers, we don't. Different bodies, we've been in different species of life, we've been in different planets, different universes. Now, try to understand, we're so fortunate. We have come on this earth planet only 500 years after Lord Gauranga. We should take advantage of his message to become Krishna conscious and to get out of the wheel of birth and death. That is the real mission of Lord Gauranga. He's teaching all of us chant and be happy. Get out of this life of material birth and death. Go back to Godhead and be with Krishna. Okay? One last question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Today is appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so it's a new year for the Vaishnavas. So every new year we take some resolutions that we chant Prabhupada books, read and chant sincerely and follow Gaudiya principles. But as the time passes, sometimes the situation changes many times and we are not able to maintain our commitments. So how can we be strong towards our commitments that we take on this year?
Well, you make some commitment, write it in big letters and post it on your wall to remind you. You have to hear again and again. You have to be reminded. Come to temple regularly and see the activities. Remind yourself. You make some commitment, you should keep it. It's very bad if you make some commitment and then don't keep that commitment. It's not good. Just like people give commitments for TOVP, right? Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he had many wealthy disciples, and they asked them all for commitments for the TOVP. So they made commitments, but then they didn't give the money. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj told them, he said, you made the commitments, you have to give, you have to keep your commitment. So the same way, we commit ourselves, we make some vow, 4 regulated principles, 16 rounds. We have to be committed to this. It should be without hesitation that we have to do these things. And if you make some commitment to do something, to distribute books or whatever, or to do some seva, we should do it. We should keep that vow. It's very important. We don't want to give up any vow which we've made, especially make a vow in front of the deities, in front of the Vaishnavas. So it's very important to keep that vow. That it's not pleasing to Krishna if we make some vow and then we don't keep it. Okay.
I have one question, Maharaj. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that we should surrender unto him, and we also hear that we should surrender unto our gurus. But we also hear that Jiva has some independence, and due to the independent nature, we sometimes find ourselves in some difficult or uncomfortable situations. So, how to overcome this and how to practice surrender given that thing?
Well, you have to expect there will be difficulties. Don't think there won't be any difficulties just because you've surrendered. No. Surrender means that you will accept any difficulties which come and go on with your devotional service. Surrender means to put up with all the difficulties and go forward. The Pandavas had many difficulties. Kunti had difficulties. Prahlad, they all had difficulties. But they didn't give up Krishna consciousness. They remained strong. So you cannot think there will be no difficulties because I've surrendered. Now I've surrendered, so I shouldn't get any difficulties. It's not like that. There will be difficulties, but you have to go forward. You have to learn to go on despite difficulties. After some time, the difficulties will cease, just like winter and summer season. So happiness and distress, it comes and goes. So winter and summer, like that. So difficulties are not eternal, but you have to go on. You have to have that determination.
হরে কৃষ্ণ কেমন লাগলো আপনাদের? আমরা